This is Margaret Ann Windsor again. This is August the 23rd. It's a Saturday. Excuse me, morning, 2014. And this time I've made videos over a year now, YouTube. Facebook, over 2 years. I ran in a campaign, and I've told about mind control being used and murders, and Timothy McVeigh was one of the victims. He even said here that the U.S. government put a chip up his buttocks. And that's sweet little William that everybody likes, that named his son George after his great-great-grandfather, George the illegal six that kidnapped me. And my life has been a life of torture in front of everybody here in the United States. If they didn't know it, it's because they knew it and wouldn't listen. I was kidnapped and brought over here to Moulton, Alabama, a pigsty. 1941, I was about 2 years old. 99-year seal was put on my dad. Illegal, everything's falling, because you see I don't have servants or anybody looking after me. I don't even know where my sons, Mark and Scott, are that are heirs after me. The legal. I'm Victoria II. Elizabeth is a fraud and should be locked up. And this 99-year seal they put on my dad and put on my birth should be unsealed if they haven't destroyed it. Now, I said something about mind control murders. That's what I wrote about in, 76. And then Larry Flint was shot in Georgia, and his was one of the mind control murders. And I ran the campaign later, and that's when I found out about my real name and kidnapping. By the way, the British told me. Larry Flint was shot March the 6th, 78, while I was doing the book, and I was living at Moonraker. Moonraker is symbolic of what? The monarch, the 007. And the name of my book, and this is before the movie came out. I was living there at Moonraker. Apartments. It was owned by Penthouse Magazine, by the way, or it was, and then the Mormon Church. But I'm getting away from what I was trying to say. The name of my book, and I didn't know my real name then, any of this. I was living at Moonraker. The name of the book was MD, A License to Kill. Well, Timothy Dalton and Roger Moore came out with the movies, and later, a couple of years later, I believe, Hustler, by the way, Larry Flint wrote me up also. I was out there in 83, October, during the campaign, and then he wrote me up in April of 84, Hustler did, and said I knew who was responsible for his killing. Well, it's the programming. Also says they made a pauper out of me, and he knew that they had put antifreeze in me April Fool's Day of 80. That's after I'd done the book and wrote about Larry McDonald, the U.S. Congressman, MD from Atlanta. This is my dad, Edward VIII, the king. You don't find many photos of him left. This is an old one. They destroyed him and replaced him with this. You know, I could say some nice words. Words doesn't cover any name calling. I realize that, but I don't have any other mode until I got YouTube. And nobody really here wanted to hear it. At least YouTube is machine, so they can't just turn around and hurt you with words. It's been like a kind of one-on-one where you find out what people are really like. The Americans as a whole have found it a joke that they could do all this stuff to me, kidnap the monarch, give the monarch, the real one, another name, use the Brits to fight their war. By the way, I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is the double that married Wallace Warfield Simpson. And really assumed my father's name. They never mentioned my mother. My mother's Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sister to artist George O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin, and also she had Ghost Ranch, my aunt did, O'Keefe, out in near Santa Fe. And as far as I know, the only movie that was made there was made with another 007, Daniel Craig, and it was filmed there. I've forgotten the title of it. And he didn't play a 007. It's recent, Cowboys and Aliens, I think. But it's the fact that he's a 007 plays. They dropped me off at, I'm saying this again, because NBC, CNN, all these have covered it up, the media, and I've taken all this stuff, lists of the mind control murders, and you can prove it. But I've taken lists of where they gave me the toxicology screen, where they did the antifreeze, and I should have died. It was a living hell. I have taken where I did the book, and I have, well, here I have the Hustler. I mean, nobody, was in print. And so much, and nobody will print it. The press will not touch it. So I'm just going to show this real quick. I'm upset because I'm hearing the media here when they cover the Ferguson, Missouri, and this young fellow's black. They're going after the cops. Well, I've put on here what cops helped do to me. They helped. Some of them were good, some of them were bad, and I'm for the cops, but not when they're corrupt anymore, when doctors or lawyers or anyone else or politicians are corrupt. And so when they call this morning, Erica Hill, is that her name, on NBC, and they were saying about, well, I'm skipping now back, so hold on, I'll try to get back to the subject. By the way, I'm going to throw you another one here if you care to. My life's been scrambled like this. This is George VI, the illegal bleep that took down his brother with nothing but lies, sold out to Roosevelt. This is in 1939 when they're planning the real monarch's demise. Me, my father's, I'm his daughter. I was born in 1939 and kidnapped, and this is going to go out before me getting all I wanted. They gave me the name of the twin, Peggy and Dempsey. And both twins were killed by their mother. And by the way, they were illegitimate, born out of wedlock back then. And there's a lot of similarities and patterns that I've been talking about to this. Wallace Simpson was born out of wedlock here in the state. She's an American spy. State of Alabama, Montgomery even marked through the birth dates because they didn't give us the same birth date that I grew up with. So they did something, well, it's a joke anyway, here they marked through it, which is illegal in Carl. Both of them were dead. Nobody's ever paid for my kidnapping. My uncle, the Warren Commission quite simply covered up the Kennedy murder because it was mind control used in that, and it would lead back to my kidnapping. His father was appointed ambassador to Great Britain, to London, by Roosevelt, and Joe Kennedy helped in my kidnapping, and his two sons, JFK and Joe Sr., flew in and out and even went before the House of Commons and made speeches. And so it's been a joke. Now, you stop and think about it if you bother to even watch this tape or anything. It's all true. You can't put the mess down. I don't know where my children are, Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me. This is an old photo. And this is just one of the mind control murders. Mark and Scott Kelly. Mark Kelly was a husband to Gabby Gifford in Tucson, Arizona, and she was a U.S. Congress woman. And before this goes off, and it's going to go off, Erica Hill, they're all saying, what's the UK doing to find the guy that helped behead the, well, I'm trying to get it on here, and now I'm not, the guy that was just beheaded, the journalist. Well, what have any of you done when I've hand-delivered it to you, what's been done to me? You put antifreeze in me as antifreeze, as a April the 1st joke when I did the book in 80. It was a living hell. My kids have been taken. I don't know if they're alive or dead. I hope the world has to see what you SOBs, you're the criminals, you're the terrorists.